I feel like eBay is lying to customers and I am not happy about it. Last Wednesday, I received a message from a buyer saying, "What is going on with the shipping? Everything is due to be delivered. The date is extended. We have purchased several packages since ordering this and received them." If you sell on the eBay platform, you have probably received a message like this. A buyer asking where their delivery is. The first thing I did when I received this message was hopped online and looked at the tracking information. The buyer had purchased the item over the weekend, and I had shipped this item out on Monday. The tracking information was showing all of this, including multiple scans of this package making its way to the buyer's location. Everything with this package and the tracking information seemed completely normal. In case you missed it, this buyer is messaging me on Wednesday when I had shipped the item out on Monday morning, and Tuesday was technically a federal holiday. I was actually genuinely surprised that the buyer even thought that he would get his item this fast. It was a very short time frame from when the item was purchased to when the item was shipped out to when the buyer started messaging me. And after all, this buyer lived across the country. So I drafted a response to this buyer explaining all the information and giving him the tracking information and letting him know when his estimated delivery date would be. I didn't think much more of this and I moved on with my day. However, on Thursday night, I received a negative feedback. I paid for 3-day delivery and got a delayed 8-day delivery. And no, this isn't even the same customer that was messaging me on Wednesday. This is a completely different customer. So what is going on here? Well, in this video, I'm going to share what happened with that negative feedback, why customers are becoming increasingly impatient on the eBay platform, and why I believe eBay is misleading customers about the delivery timeframes. Both of these customers seem to be under the impression that they were receiving their items late. However, this was just not the case. And even one of them claimed that they had paid for 3-day delivery, which is a service that I don't even offer. That's the part that made me really mad. He says that he paid for a 3-day delivery, and when I went in and checked his order, sure enough, he had chosen standard shipping, the policy that I offer on 98% of my items. That policy says that items will be delivered in 1 to 5 business days. That is a critical point, business days. And on top of that, I have a 2-day handling time frame on all of my items. Now, the vast majority of my items are sold and shipped under the standard shipping policy on eBay, which is 1 to 5 business days. Once the buyer has paid for the standard shipping, I then choose the cheapest shipping method that is within that 1 to 5 business days. Typically for me, 90% of my packages will be shipped USPS Ground Advantage, which is a 2 to 5 day time frame for delivery. So if my listing says that I have 2-day handling time and that the shipping takes 1 to 5 business days, why is this customer confused about a 3-day shipping policy? If my buyers are under the impression that they're going to receive their items within 2 to 3 days, something is wrong. So I started looking at my listings and I found this little blurb next to my shipping policy. Right here on my listing next to the shipping, it says 2 to 3 day delivery. It doesn't say estimated delivery. It doesn't say 2 to 3 business days. It simply says 2 to 3 day delivery. This is absolutely mind-boggling to me since I clearly have shipping policies that are 1 to 5 business days plus 2 business days of handling time, which means that a buyer can expect their package all the way out to 7 business days. So when eBay's telling the customer that they can get their package in 2 to 3 day delivery and I have 2-day handling time, I might not even have shipped out their package by the time the customer thinks that they should have already received it. Now, I spent some time while making this video digging through countless stores, looking at countless listings, and this is a super common issue that I'm seeing. I would go on to different people's stores and different people's listings and look and see that eBay's telling me that I would get this item in 2 to 3 days. When I click on the buyer's information and I look at what the actual shipping policy is, the majority of people are shipping Ground Advantage, 1 to 5 business days. and the majority of people have at least 2-day handling time on. So the majority of people are right in the same marketplace that I am, but eBay is still telling me on their listings that I would receive that item in 2 to 3 days when they don't even have to ship the item out for 2 days. If you enjoy my content, did you know one of the easiest ways to support me is by hitting that like and subscribe button? It's completely free, and over 65% of you guys watching this video right now are not subscribed, and I would love the support from all of you. Whether you buy or sell on eBay, this is an issue. Why would eBay want it to sound like customers are going to receive their packages faster than the sellers are actually going to ship the items out? Well, eBay is competing with Amazon and other major retailers who are using super fast delivery times to convert potential customers into buyers. eBay doesn't actually have any control over how fast an item is delivered. At the end of the day, it's left up to us as the sellers to pack the items, take the items to the post office, and get those items shipped out. And it's up to us to determine how fast we're going to ship those items. That's why eBay offers us different policies on handling time and different shipping policies depending on how fast we want to offer shipping to our customers. But eBay also knows that if they show customers a shorter time frame for delivery, they're more likely to convert into an actual sale. But in my opinion, this sucks for everybody. This sucks for buyers and sellers because everybody is under a different impression. Me, as the seller, I might think that I have 2 days to get this item packed and dropped off at the post office. Meanwhile, the buyer might think that they should have already received the item before I ever even dropped it off because they were shown on the listing 2 to 3 day delivery time frame. And to top it all off, eBay doesn't even use the word business days. They actually just say days. So when something sells on a Friday night, I technically have until Tuesday to ship that item out. However, a customer might get confused and think that they should have received their order on Monday morning because eBay said 1 to 3 days. They didn't say business days. Now, me personally, I have 2-day handling time on all of my items just because I want that margin of error. I ship 98% of my items same day or next day, just depending on when the customer purchases throughout the day and when I decide to go package these items and ship them out. However, I want that 2-day handling time frame because in case I'm out of town or something comes up or I have to go buy or find a box for a certain item, I want that little bit of extra time so that I'm not rushed if something comes up. After digging a little deeper into this, I found this on eBay's website that explains the differences between estimated by and get it by. Now, this article actually confused me even more because the article talks about an estimated between date and a get it by date, which neither of these are shown on the listings that I was looking at. They just say delivery by. It never says estimated by, which would make a difference. So I'm not quite sure what this article is talking about. I'm not sure whether it's outdated or if this is just something that eBay has moved on from. But from what I am seeing on my end, I am not seeing listings showing estimated delivery. It's just saying delivery within 2 to 3 days. And when I look at the get it by date, which in this article it says is what the actual policies of the seller are, that doesn't even line up with the seller policies either because mine should be up to 7 business days, but that's not what it's showing. My guess is eBay is using data and AI to create these estimated delivery dates. They probably know that I ship the majority of my items same day or next day, and they know that within certain zip codes or certain areas around me that the Postal Service delivers these packages very fast. So they feel comfortable in telling the customer that they should be able to get their item within a 2 to 3 day delivery frame. However, that's not always the case. There's things that go wrong with shipping, even in my own state. Something that should have only taken a day or two to be delivered can end up taking a few days. And just because 98% of the time I do ship things same day or next day, doesn't mean that I maybe didn't go away for the weekend and those Thursday orders aren't going to get shipped out until Monday rather than on Thursday or Friday. I've actually even noticed this in some of my sales data information, that the majority of my customer base is located within my general half of the United States. I sell a lot of items to Texas Arizona, Utah, and California, because those are areas that I can deliver to fast, where I don't sell as much to, say, the Northeast or New York. And eBay is probably using this to the customer's advantage. I don't have any proof of this, but why would they have me sell the same gadget to someone in New York that someone in New York is selling that can get that item to the customer faster and is more likely to convert to the sale because they can show them a time frame for the delivery that is much shorter than, say, it's coming all the way from Utah, where it may be a few extra days. The problem with all this comes down to it's just not very clear to the customer. The majority of customers are never going to go in and look at our actual shipping policies, look and see what the delivery dates are for those shipping policies, understand what our handling time is, or even how business days factor in versus calendar days. Most customers just don't know that or aren't going to spend the time to look at it. Most customers are going to open up the app, look at the listing, and it says delivery in 2 to 3 days, and they think that if they order it on Friday that they should get it on Monday morning. And that's just not the case. eBay's just counting on the fact that the majority of us ship our items out faster than the handling time, and that the majority of packages shipped through the Postal Service arrive faster than what the estimated delivery date is. However, that's just not always the case, and I think it's kind of misleading to customers saying that they can have 2 to 3 day delivery time frames when they're buying something on a Friday and they might assume that they're going to get it on Monday morning. That buyer that left me that negative feedback claiming that it took him 8 days to get that item delivered to him, what he fails to mention is that I shipped that item out the next day, so there was 1 day already. And then it was going across the country, so it took 5 days for it to be shipped, and it went over the cross of a weekend and a federal holiday. So while it may have been 8 calendar days, it was still only 6 actual business days. So this feedback was super unfair to me because it was untruthful, and I never claimed that the buyer was getting 3-day delivery, and the buyer never paid for like expedited shipping, and I don't even offer a 3-day delivery, so I don't know where the customer was getting this from. So I went in and I submitted an appeal for that negative feedback. And I explained all of this in the appeal request to eBay. And within 10 minutes of submitting that appeal, it was overturned and that negative feedback was removed from my account. Now, eBay has a pretty good policy about protecting us as sellers from negative feedback and those kinds of issues, as long as we ship it within our given handling time using the correct shipping providers and the item is being scanned along the way. eBay will typically have our backs. However, this still cost me time. It cost me time to go in and submit that appeal, and it cost me time to have to offer customer service to these customers that are reaching out saying, hey, where's my package? It should have been here by now. Meanwhile, I didn't even have to ship the item out yet. So the next time you get a message from a buyer saying, hey, where's my item? And it's only been a few days, remember, they might not be as crazy as you think they are. They might have just been misled and shown something that said 2 to 3 day deliveries, and they thought that they honestly were going to get the package on Monday morning when they ordered it on Friday afternoon. Most of these customers are not bad people. They're just confused because eBay's making it confusing for them. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. Do you guys like this? Do you like that eBay's telling customers 2 to 3 day delivery time frames just to try to get buyers to convert to sales? Because I'm sure it's creating better conversion rates for all of us if eBay is doing this. However, on the other hand, it's also creating a lot of confusion for the buyers, and it could be destroying trust on the platform. And if you're wondering how I create my shipping policies, check out one of these videos here where I break down all my different shipping policies.